Ready to get to work? Let's get to work. We got boogeymen to make and stuff. Okay, so what's going on here today? No one important trying to get in touch with me. Okay, good. Always got to keep an eye on the phone because I'm working and streaming and working. So, okay, so I'm going to kind of start from scratch here, but what I have is I got a little thing where I have Kristen Koshel in a scene where it's just a quick shot like that. She's sitting at this table, and I've got two of them. This is the second one. Just quick reaction shots. You notice something different from shot to shot between this shot and this shot? You see it? The table. So on this day, I just needed a really quick shot of her doing this reaction. We didn't get it while we had our setup on the table. And I didn't want to have her wait around while I cleared this table and set up. We had a lot of shooting to do that day, and it was just me and Jenna Green, who was doing Kristen's makeup. And that was it. So I didn't want to be running around grabbing all the props, clearing this off. So I was just like, let's do the shot. Once you go, I'll set it up and I'll replace it. So what I did was I replaced it with a photo that I took. Here are the photos, and you can see it's just, you know, the props. We had the flashlights, we had this little ham radio, some papers, that sort of thing. And in this scene we have, if we kind of zoom in on it, we've got some fun stuff. We've got Jenna's Bride of Frankenstein purse, and I think my camera bag is here, and just a bunch of junk mail. You know, so anyway. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna do this. I just, you know, I know it can be done, and you can kind of see here. I'm not happy with this right here. This is something that, so I'm gonna delete this. We're gonna start from scratch. So I do have one of these pictures of the kitchen, and there's a few things here that I noticed that I think are things that are going to be a little bit of a change. One of the things I noticed is, see, Kristen's leg is under the table here, but it doesn't move. So I think we're gonna do this in Photoshop mainly. So again, we'll drop this back in. You can see it's a much bigger picture, so we're gonna scale it down, and let's lower the opacity so we can kind of start to match this up. Now, one of the first things that I noticed about this here was that we have a difference in perspective. Big difference in perspective. Here we've got the counter here, and we've got this, and I don't know how that happened, because I'm pretty sure I shot this with the same lens and put the tripod in the same spot. I think I put down markers or something, but maybe looks like most likely the tripod probably was a little lower when I took the photo versus this. So, you know, obviously it's a different place, but you can see the difference. There's a chair here, and I think the chair is in the shot in the movie, but I don't know if anyone will notice. No, it's not in the shot, but we're not going to use that side. So anyway, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to composition, save frame as Photoshop layers, and let's see, this is scene 3, and we're in the folder for scene like 11, I think that was. All right, so we'll just save this as Photoshop files. I think that name was good. All right, let's open this up. So it was nice enough to save it as 2 layers for us. So I'm going to do all the work in here, and you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something here that we can then crop and color match. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of, once again, lower the opacity on this so we can kind of see what we're dealing with in terms of differences. So what do we notice? I think everything's kind of in a slightly different place. Let's turn that up again. The first thing I want to see is where that window lines up. Okay. Gotcha. Alright, so it looks like the window is a little further over than with Kristen. Now we could distort the picture. There's a lot of different things we could do to do that, but I always like to take the easiest way because I'm doing all this work on my own and I've got a lot of other work to cover, so, you know. And for a quick shot that nobody else is going to notice, you know, don't make more work for yourself than you have to. So let's start by let's do this. Let's make a mask. Oops. Control I will invert your mask. All right, no problem there. All right. So let's see what's going on here. Obviously we have a color difference. Could probably do this better with a pen tool, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. We can always come back in and clean it up. But first thing I want to do is what do we have there? Oh. Okay, this leg is a good place. This table leg, I mean, not Kristen's leg, is a good place to do the split. Oops. What is it? My opacity's down. Okay, 100%. All right, so that's one side of it. And then let's zoom in even closer down here and see what's going on with Kristen's leg. Now I suspect that we're gonna see, I can already see some of the table leg behind there, so we want to kind of match up this table leg. How we're going to do that, I'm not sure yet, but let's see what's going on here. Alright, so that's Kristen's leg. Now I'm looking at this, I can see this table leg behind Kristen's leg a little bit. And so what we're going to do is, Kristen doesn't move her leg in either shot. So I'm actually going to duplicate her leg here. But let's see. Let's worry about this part here. And Kristen, sorry for zooming in so far into your legs. All right. So let's work this, because we've got all this different background stuff in the actual shot. Photoshop is probably, I mean, I love going into Photoshop. Anytime I can go into Photoshop and do the work there and then bring it back into After Effects, I do. The only disadvantage is that you know, you're limited, not 100% limited, but you're dealing with flat objects, lockdown stuff. As soon as you've got motion, it gets a lot more complicated. You can still do it. Oops, let's revert that. Okay, so how does that look? It's a little bit of a hard edge. So let's go, and we're still in the mask. Let's go in and just use this blur tool a little bit to soften up that edge. There you go. That looks fantastic. And let's do that here along this table leg too. Looks like, let's see, got a little more of an edge there still. By the way, if you're looking for part 3, oops, of the last tutorial I was doing, I live streamed it, and then I found out later that my mic had inadvertently got pulled out, so that was not good. Okay, so we've got a little bit of this leg here. Let's see. See that leg there? So I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna create a new layer and get a clone tool really quick, and we're gonna get in behind there, and we're just gonna extend her leg into these areas. Oops. Okay. That should be good. Do we see anything else? Let's see. Yeah, there's this little space down here, which probably nobody will notice, but since I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And again, take our blur tool, just soften up those edges. Okay, so let's save that. Now let's go back into After Effects. Let's find that file and import it. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and merge layer. We can get rid of this now. Put this in on top of it. Okay, so we have this, and we're going to, let's see, let's get our pen tool, and we're gonna come in with our pen tool. We're gonna kind of come into Kristen's leg a bit and into here. And let's kind of get along here. And I can never remember which way this goes, but see? Wrong way. There we go. Okay, so now we've replaced this, but obviously there's a color difference. So we're going to go back into Photoshop and we're going to sort that out. So let's go back in. I think I feel good about merging these down now. Alright, so the color difference. So let's go in here and we're going to go into layer, adjustment layer, and color balance. Non-destructive editing. But if I adjust the color balance, see, everything gets adjusted. So we're going to click on here, we're going to hold the Alt key, we're going to drag that up into here, replace layer mask, yes. So now we have a layer mask, so when we adjust the color, it's only on that side. Okay, so first things first, we got to decide what the color difference is here. So let's zoom in. We're not going to get this exact, but I'm going to show you how to deal with this, okay? So the first thing I notice here is that this is darker here, and I think it's because there's a slightly less green on this side, but there's more yellow. So we're matching that. And I think there might be a little bit more red in there. Or not. There is. There's a slightly bit more red in there. But obviously we're dealing with, let's see, we're in the midtones. And let's go into the shadows. And let's reduce down the green in there as well. And add some more yellow. Alright, so that doesn't look right at all, but layer, adjustment layer, and let's go into levels. And again, click on this because this is the precise mask. Hold down the Alt key, click it, drag it up into this, replace it. Okay, so let's go into levels. And let's lighten this up. What? Oh, I love it when I'm right. See, even though it was a lot darker, that matches pretty well. Not precisely, but we got that color difference. Check this out when we turn off the color difference. Alright, so we're just going to go back in here and we're going to play with this. But let's also make sure that we're not, you know, it's not a drastic mismatch somewhere else that we're not noticing. Okay, so we've lightened that up. Let's go back in here. Now, how did I know? I think you just got to kind of get an understanding of color and learn to see colors. I'm seeing now that I'm really zoomed in here. Look how far I'm zoomed. I'm seeing that there's a bit more blue in here. And I think it's in the highlights. So let's add a little bit of blue and I think there's a bit too much red. So let's, and there might actually be some green. I don't even know if you can see the difference, how well this is picking this up. Let's go back into levels and just tweak it a little. And there we go. Not precise, but close enough. So what we're gonna do, obviously we see this edge here, so we're gonna just go in to here, and we're just going to very gently, let's paint some stuff back in. Let's get this, oops. Make sure you're actually in the mask and not the actual layer. Let's see. Let's turn these off for a minute so we can see what we're doing. It's kind of hard to see that table edge. Oops. Don't. I'm not looking. There we go. Very gently. There's some table edge there, so. very gently paint that back. Like so. Oops. Get rid of that edge. Alright, so that's pretty close. But now we've got this issue here. Oh my god. So what we just do is we just, again, we hit Alt, we click, we drag up, we replace it. Yes. Click, drag up, replace it. Yes. Alright, pretty good. If I do say so myself. Okay, so save that. Go into After Effects, and boom. There we go. So now we have the proper props in the scene. Yeah, there's a little bit of an edge there, but you know, nobody's going to notice it. And when Kristen moves, yeah, her leg kind of stays still here a little bit, but would we notice it? Let's have a look. Yeah, it moves slightly, but only slightly. Nobody's ever gonna notice it. And if they do, then God bless them. So instead of going through cropping that all over again, let's just do this. Let's just copy what we did from here. Copy. So we've got the same crop. Paste it in there. Boom. Oh, wait a second. What's going on here? A shadow. We have a shadow issue, people. Alright. Well, we can handle that, can't we? Let's just see what happens when we go in and adjust the mask. We have that power. There's a little bit of an edge there. Let's see what happens when we feather it. Alright, there's a little tiny ghosting of the table leg here from before, but it might be insignificant enough that we can let it go. Back and forth. Do you notice it? I don't notice it. Actually, that's not true. I do notice it. But seriously, come on. That's pretty cool that we can do that. Okay, so we've got this shot. I think we nailed it. We did a good job. And there are other things that we can do to improve it. So anyway, so what I should do is I should kind of go back. I'm going to go back into I'm going to do an overview, and I'm recording this, so I'm going to take that over. It's getting dark. It was clear as beautiful bright day, and now it's dark. Might be that we have rain on the way. So anyway, we got through that really quick. I've only been at this for, what is it, 28 minutes. We did that in 28 minutes. It's always nice when an effect comes together really quick. So I'm going to go back into scenes, and as walking in the tunnel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because we're live streaming, I'm going to edit this. I'm going to split this up and put it as 2 videos on YouTube. So we have a short video, and which is, what do we call this? Set replacement. And then we're going to have the part 3. So let's do that. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're wondering what's going on, go back one video, and you'll also see part 1 and 2 of what I'm about to show you.